Pagitt Radio on AM 950 and PagittRadio.com. Our Sunday afternoon conversation we call Religious Radio. That's not quite right. Joined every month by Rabbi Joseph Edelheidt. Hey, Joseph, welcome back from Rio.
Doug.
And nice to have you back and filling in with the sidekick fill-in who just spilled her soft drink on the table around all the electrical cords. So if the program doesn't short circuit, we will chat. Rabbi Joseph Edelheidt, we like to talk a lot about the conversation that goes on in our world about religion. And obviously, we are in a news cycle right now that has reminded us of some significant religious sensitivities.
Well, look, I'm not quite sure I can understand how someone mistakenly burned Qurans. How can you spend 10 years in a Muslim country and then miss what's in the garbage pile?
Yeah, well, you know what I don't get about that? Now, I understand, like, whatever soldiers were gathering up, they ain't been there for 10 years, right? That poor kid probably landed about 6 weeks ago. But yeah. So maybe he doesn't. And obviously, the United States military wouldn't have wanted to burn these Qurans. One piece of that story I haven't been able to figure out yet. How did anyone know what was in the pile of garbage that they were burning? Like, were they showing pictures of it? Who goes through the garbage they're burning?
Were they bragging about it? Starts,
yeah,
and an Afghani walks by.
And he's got the eagle eye where he can pick out what the book is. That's unbelievable, that guy.
Hey, listen, I'm
quite an eye.
Blessed to share in the EV blog.
Yes, the Emergent Village blog over at pathos.com.
Right, and last blog, I said to my Christian brothers and sisters, hey, go look at Bishop Eddie Long.
Yeah.
In Georgia.
Uh-huh.
And in a disgusting 16-minute YouTube, you can watch someone who claims he's a Hebrew messianic rabbi. And he wraps Bishop Long inside a Torah scroll, Doug.
Yes. And to your sensibilities, that causes you to feel a little sensitive about that.
Look, interfaith dialogue means being sensitive.
Mm-hmm.
It means beginning with respect.
Yeah.
So we talked about this several years ago, a couple years ago, when this pathetic idiot in Florida wanted to burn Qurans to commemorate 9/11.
Yeah.
And I told you that at St. Cloud State, where I'm director of religious studies, I went around campus and said to the ministries, hey, let's collectively repudiate this.
Yeah, let's come together and say, that's not how we want to think about things.
This is a no-brainer.
Speak for us, right?
This is a no-brainer. And you'll remember, I told you, everyone said, you're pushing again, Edelheidt.
Yeah, we don't want to get into that.
And I'm going, what?
Right.
So, as I asked in my blog, today it's mistakenly burning Qurans in Afghanistan.
Mm-hmm.
In Georgia, it was a Baptist bishop who has been rebuked for inappropriate behavior being wrapped in a Torah scroll.
Mm-hmm.
What if I went and got a chalice of consecrated host and said,
yeah, well, that's what I want, right.
Hey, look at these tasty crackers.
Yeah, and people and folks. So here's what I want to ask you about, because I find this intriguing. Not the details of it. Not should Muslim people be sensitive about the treatment of the Quran. They've chosen to be sensitive about the treatment of the Quran.
Chosen? They're supposed to.
They're supposed to be, right? I mean, their system has established that as important.
Right.
Some Christian people would have great sensitivity about the governments chiming in on their theology and their ability to follow it and still have affordable health coverage. There are Christians who would be really nervous about what you do with the bread and the wine when it's not finally consumed. The concern that you raised about a Christian pastor being wrapped up in a Torah scroll and then introduces if they're a rabbi and so on. Okay, I get that each system has its reasons for being bothered by the particularities. But what is it about religion, in your view, that that allows people, seemingly allows people, to be so bothered that violating other human standards, like treating someone well, loving someone, or cherishing their life, seem to be set aside. This is what I think is confusing to a lot of people, religious people and non-religious people. Is I understand that you might be sensitive about that, but should it then give excuse for the dehumanization of others? Like somehow the religion gets lifted higher than the value of humanity. It doesn't. Isn't that? I mean, and your people's narrative certainly has that has that story in it. The people trying to eliminate the Jewish family for 5,000 years of recorded human history.
So this is the way I teach. If I had a blackboard, this is what I would do. I would put the word sacred, and then I'd put the word scared.
Yeah. Nice.
Oh, well, if you're trying to imagine that on live radio, you're just flipping two letters. It's a simple typo.
Right. The word sacred, you just flip the C and the A.
Yeah.
I have to write that down, make sure I get that right.
Sacred and scared. For those of us who have books that are sacred.
That's right.
If you in any way tamper, if you don't even have to burn it, throw it on the ground.
Yeah. Treat it badly.
Okay? That scares us. So the sacred often provokes the scared. And when you're scared, you don't behave rationally.
Do you think there's something about religious impulses that heighten, give permission to, or create a higher level of fear? Like, in other words, do religious people become more scared than we ought to be because our religion somehow benefits from the sacred and the scared?
Yeah, I think that when you're dealing with the mystery of God, when you're attempting to be more than merely human.
Yes.
When someone says, I died on the cross for you.
Yeah.
Then you go, what? You did that for me?
Yeah.
Okay? When we read in the Bible and then the Haggadah coming up in Passover, Avadim hayinu leFaro, we were slaves to Pharaoh in Egypt. Not they were slaves, we were slaves. That means I'm included in this ongoing story. So a Muslim looks at what happens in Afghanistan, immediately remembers what the guy in Florida was going to do, and wonders to himself, so this is what white Christians think it's okay to do to my holy book?
All right, that's Rabbi Joseph Edelheidt. Hang on, we're going to talk about this a little bit more in our next segment. Stick around. Doug Pagitt Radio on AM 950 and DougPagittRadio.com. If you've got questions of your own, head over to the Doug Pagitt Radio page on Facebook and let us know over there, and we will address your ideas as well. Stick with us here after the break on AM 950, the progressive voice of Minnesota.